Hi y'all, Knife Detector here, and check out this beautiful knife, guys. Guys, this knife comes with a story. It comes with a story. I'm going to tell you the story first, and then I'm going to show you the knife a little bit closer. Got this on eBay a while back, and today is September the 24th. You probably won't see this video for another week and a half or so. I received the knife in the mail today, and I was very pleased with it. But I noticed a couple of things with it right off. First thing I noticed was that the golden pin, or the brass pin, golden colored brass pin, is different than this one. See, these are nickel silver bolsters, and this is a nickel silver pin, and this one uses a brass pin. And I noticed also that it was an equal end pattern, this beautiful cigar shaped pattern, which I do like in knives. But I've never seen one of these patterns with a sheep's foot blade, this rope blade type knife right here. And another thing I noticed, I'll show you in a little bit, but I went ahead and I asked the gentleman who sold it to me on eBay. First of all, I complimented him. I didn't know if it was him who did it, but I asked him if he had any information about the knife, because it looked a little refurbished to me, and it looked like somebody put in a brass pin instead of nickel silver. And I noticed a couple of other things about it. And he was a very honest seller, and he said, "Hey, I'm trying to make a couple of extra bucks, for the household and make ends meet." And what I did was I got an old Ulster knife with broken blades, and I put 2 other blades in it. So this knife used to be an Ulster knife. And that got me thinking, he really made this knife work well. I mean, this is a beautiful sheep's foot blade with vintage carbon steel. He cleaned it up really nice. He said he didn't call it a refurbishing. He was very honest, but even though I think he did a good refurbishing on it, he said he just basically fixed a knife that was broken to make a little bit of extra dough. And I admire that, guys. I admire that. Because where there was once nothing, he produced something that not only is functional, but to me is very aesthetically pleasing. Let me show you this knife, right? Now, this knife I know is not for everyone. I know some of you guys that prefer your knives new might look at this and cringe, but when I look at something like this, I think of something that is very unique and that somebody was brilliant enough to put together, right? So let's take a look at this. First of all, listen. Good snap open. Look at that sheep's foot, guys. Look at that old vintage sheep's foot. No markings on that, but it's just a beautiful blade. Check out the ebony wood. This ebony wood looks like it's almost 100 years old. Look at the badge on that. That's the old kind of badge that you need a pin to put in. Notice how this pin looks like it was an original pin, but this pin right here looks like he repinned it to put in there with the springs. Looks like he mushroomed that, and he mushroomed this one too. Here, see? And this looks like the original pin back here, because it's nickel silver. Right there too, see? Look at that beautiful ebony wood, guys. It's lovely. Brass spacers. This knife, in its previous form, spent a lot of time in somebody's pocket, and I get the feeling somebody used this as their work knife, carried it every day, probably for about 50 years. I can feel the history in this knife, guys. And rather than let this old Ulster die, this seller of this knife decided to give it new life and gave it a rebirth. And now, because of his ingenuity, check out this beautiful result. Now, I don't know what knife this blade came out of. Kind of looks like a Klein Tools type of blade. But let's close it. Let's hear the snap. First of all, there's no play here, guys. No play at all. Look at that. Did you hear that? Let's do that again. Nice. That is smooth, guys. That's really smooth. Now, let's check out the secondary blade. The secondary blade is a queen, and that's what led me to believe. I didn't remember seeing a queen steel blade with this type of badge. So that's the first thing I noticed, right? And it's queen steel. Now this wasn't very sharp when I got it, but I think probably he didn't want me to cut my fingers. So I do need to do a little bit of sharpening. I've only sharpened it a little bit, but I'm going to sharpen it some more. This knife, I believe, this blade, this queen steel blade, was originally maybe about this long right here, and a little bit wider at the base. And again, he took a broken blade and he made something out of it, which I really appreciate. I might reprofile this a little bit more, or I might leave it as is. I'm not 100%. But it works just fine. Listen to this. First of all, no play. Do you hear that? That's a half stop. Half stop on that one, guys. Boom. Really nice. So I wanted to show you this, guys. I'm going to put a link to his eBay store on the description of this video. He's a real nice guy, really down to earth, and he's got some more vintage knives for sale. You can check them out yourself. Now, I knew that when I purchased this knife, when I was looking at the pictures, he takes good pictures, I could tell that this probably was refurbished, but I just like the look of it, guys. I mean, come on, look at that. Have you ever seen a sheep's foot like that on a cigar pattern type knife, on an equal end knife? I love it. I'm going to be carrying this a lot. All right, guys, this is the Knife Detector signing off, saying whenever you can make something out of nothing, well, you're showing your brilliance and you're bringing something new into the world, guys. So take care. God bless. Keep your knife sharp. Keep your wits even sharper, my friends.